The first mark you make on anything will not be perfect. It's not supposed to be. We spend so much time trying to get things right before we even begin, and we just need to stop that, push all those things to the side, get out of your head, and just begin. This video, I'm going to show you how to do that and give you some extra tips as well. I'm using some simple supplies and a little bit of an experiment. I'm using a mug, I'm using a kneaded eraser and an ink pad to start something really simple, play around, to show you that any beginning is good enough. Have you ever just sat in front of an open sketchbook, a blank canvas, a blank piece of paper, and just didn't create anything? You kind of couldn't bring yourself to make the first mark. I've been there, I still get there, and I want to encourage you to just start. I know it's easier said than done. One way to start is just to do what I'm doing. Grab a paintbrush, grab some paint, and just paint a background. Just put some paint on the paper. That's one idea for a first mark, but I've got 20 more you can try. I have a new free guide, Start Messy. 20 really, really simple, easy ways to make the first mark on your page and just get started. You do not have to have any artistic talent to use these as a starting point. I'll put a link to the guide in the description below and also in the top corner here. And I want to just let this be an encouraging video for you that your first marks, they're never going to be the finished product, and they're not supposed to be. We stall before making the first brushstroke because we're afraid we're going to do it badly. But that kind of perfectionistic tendency, it's just resistance in another form. Resistance is just whatever it is, that thing that keeps us from doing the things that we want to do. We want to create. If you didn't want to create, you wouldn't have all of your art supplies. You wouldn't have, that corner of the room carved out for your sketchbooks. We want to create, but when it's time to create, there are so many times when we just get stuck. So, if you are getting stuck at the beginning of your project, I'm here to help. What I'm doing today is I am taking a mug that I love. It's my favorite mug. It says, "Jackie, always fill your cup first." And this is a reminder to myself that if I don't take care of myself, I can't really take care of anyone else. I wish I could say I made it up, but I saw it as an example on Etsy for someone else's name, and I was like, I want that exact same mug. That is genius. So I bought it for myself. I'm taking kneaded erasers. I am pushing them into those letters because those letters are stamped into the clay before it was fired. And I am using an ink pad that, I'm sorry, is out of frame, and stamping it onto my notebook that I'm using as a sketchbook to get that same message across. As you can see, it is going terribly. You can barely see what I'm doing. I have so many regrets about how I did this. I should have used a tiny little narrow strip of the kneaded eraser so I didn't have all the extra baggage around the name and around the words. Doesn't matter. It is what it is. It was a day that I created something. I tried something new. All of art's an experiment, at least the fun parts are. And what an experiment it was. I mean, I didn't even perfect the technique in all those attempts. So trying something with like a microphone cord, this little spring shape I got, I'm just playing around. I'm making messy marks. This is not a heavily curated situation. Because if I have to wait until my whole setup is curated and crisp and tidy and concise, it's just not going to happen. It's just not. And I will overthink it and overthink it and overthink it. So whatever you do, if you are stuck, if you are looking at a great white canvas or a brand new sketchbook and you want to, quote, make the first one pretty because the sketchbook is going to be the highlight kind of portfolio of all of your work. First of all, it's not a sketchbook. That is a portfolio. So if it's a sketchbook, please make messes. You can always go back and paint over them. Just relax. All these things I know are easier said than done. So I understand if you're cringing when I'm saying these things, but it's also the truth. We're supposed to play. That is the basis, in my opinion, of when art is its most free, its most exciting, and its most relaxing and mindful and restful. Those words did not sound grammatically correct, but we're just going to go with it. Art can be such a great tool in self-expression and letting yourself be seen. I know we all would love to be seen with a fresh face of makeup, our hair done professionally, and a gown designed to fit our bodies in all the right ways. And then there's real life. Being seen as an artist is about authenticity. It's about showing up as we are, where we are, whatever we have with us, and creating something, making a mark, kind of a little, if you go to a tourist place and people, graffiti or carve into like benches or something like that, they carve their initials. Every piece of art that you create, every sketchbook page, every like crumpled up piece of collage paper that you find and add into your art is a little initial of you on your journey. It's a little I was here. Jackie was here. Pam was here. Paul was here. Other people's names that don't start with P were here. It's allowing yourself to be seen, allowing yourself to express whatever it is that you probably can't even name, because I can't. I don't do better. I do better with visual art than I do with words and descriptions of things. However, this is doable. You never have to set out to make something amazing and make something amazing. I wish that was a thing that could happen every time, but you got to get a lot of at-bats. So the more at-bats you get, the more successful pieces that you will have at the end of your creation time. And you're always going to have some random ones. This is a random one for me. Kind of fun, kind of wild, kind of wacky, very bright, very loud, but it was fun. It was fun to just try and play and mess up. And do I like it? I like some of the parts of it. I have so many regrets about how I used the eraser on the mug, and that's okay. So what now? Because once you've made these first marks, you've already done the hardest part. You've started. Now it's all about responding. Add another layer. Follow a color. Scribble over something you don't like. The painting will just start to guide you if you keep moving. You don't find your creative voice by planning every move. You find it by making the moves. It doesn't have to look good. It just has to be there. Every mark leads to the next one, to the next one, to the next one, and that's where your art comes alive. So if you've been waiting for the right idea or the perfect plan, do yourself a favor, stop waiting, and start.